child, before you say a word, before you explain yourself, before you list what you didn't finish or all the ways you feel you fell short, let me speak first. I already know how today felt. I know how heavy your body was when you woke up. I know how loud your thoughts were before your feet even touched the floor. I know how many times you told yourself, just get through this. Just do what you can. And I know how small that sounded to you. But I also know how much strength it took to say it. I see what no one else sees. I see the effort it takes you just to function. Some days, I see how much energy it costs you to do things that once felt easy. I see how often you keep going, not because you feel strong, but because you refuse to give up. You look at your life and think, it's not enough. I should be further by now. I should be better. But you don't see what I see. I see you trying, not loudly, not perfectly, not in ways that get applause. I see you trying in quiet, brave, unseen ways. I see the days you show up when you want to disappear. I see the moments you hold yourself together when everything inside you feels like it's falling apart. I see the battles in your mind that no one ever thanks you for surviving. And I want you to hear this, gently, clearly, without doubt. I know you're trying, and it matters to me. You've been so hard on yourself. You measure your life by what you didn't do, by what you couldn't finish, by how far you think you still have to go. But I measure differently. I measure faithfulness in small steps. I measure courage in getting back up. I measure love in staying when walking away would be easier. People look at outcomes. I look at the heart. People see results. I see endurance. People see what's missing. I see what you're carrying. Your heart has been working harder than you realize. I know you feel behind. I know you feel like you're moving too slowly. I know it seems like everyone else is doing better than you. But listen to me. You are not running someone else's race. You are walking the path I am shaping for you. And sometimes walking is all you can do. That is not failure. That is faithfulness. I know you're tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. I know your mind feels crowded. I know your heart feels like it's been holding too much for far too long. But you are still here, and that means something. When you feel fragile, I do not push you. When you feel weak, I do not demand more. When you feel like you're barely holding on, I do not finish you off. I protect what is already struggling. I do not shame you for being tired. I do not look at you and think you should be stronger by now. I look at you and think you are still here, and for today, that is enough. Some days, surviving is the bravest thing you do, and I see it. I know you wish your progress was faster. I know you wish your healing was obvious. I know you wish you had something to point to and say, look, I'm better now. But most healing happens quietly. Most growth happens invisibly. Most strength is built in moments no one ever claps for. I see the small choices you make, the moments you choose not to quit, the times you try again, even when hope feels thin. That is not nothing. That is everything. Do not grow weary in doing good, not because it feels rewarding, but because what you are building cannot always be seen right away. You may feel like you keep starting over, like you keep learning the same lessons, like you keep facing the same struggles. But you are not who you used to be. You respond differently now. You survive things now that once would have destroyed you. You think differently now, even if you haven't noticed it yet. That is progress. Not loud, not perfect, but real. You are becoming stronger even while you feel tired. And hear this, my child. You are not loved because of how well you perform. You are not accepted because of how much you accomplish. You are not mine because of how strong you appear. You are mine because I chose you. I do not ask you to come to me when you are successful. I do not ask you to come to me when you've fixed yourself. I do not ask you to come to me when you are no longer tired. I ask you to come as you are, weary, burdened, worn out. I'm not asking you to try harder. I'm asking you to rest. I know you've been carrying too much. I know you've expected too much from yourself. I know you've spoken to yourself in ways I never would. You do not need to earn my kindness. You do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to punish yourself to grow. You are already loved. And even on the days it feels pointless, even on the days it feels like you're moving backward, even on the days all you did was survive, I see it. I have not missed it, and I am not finished with you. I discovered that a seductive woman is a trap more bitter than death. Her passion is a snare, and her soft hands are chains. Those who are pleasing to God will escape her, but sinners will be caught in her snare. Pause for a moment and breathe that in. This is not just a warning about a person. It is a revelation about temptation. It is a mirror held up to your soul. It is God, in His mercy, whispering to you, be careful what looks beautiful, but leads you away from me. You live in a world that knows how to dress destruction in elegance. You live in a culture that perfumes poison and calls it pleasure. What glitters before your eyes is not always gold. What feels warm in your hands is not always love. And what whispers softly in your ear does not always speak life. Temptation does not arrive looking like death. It arrives looking like desire fulfilled. It smiles, it flatters, it promises, and before you know it, what once felt thrilling begins to feel binding. The scripture says it is more bitter than death. Why? Because death is an ending, but sin is a slow erosion. It doesn't take you all at once. It steals from you piece by piece. Your clarity, your conviction, your peace, your intimacy with God. You may not even realize you are being chained until you try to walk away. Her passion is a snare. A snare is not obvious. It is hidden. It waits quietly. It allows you to step freely until the moment you're entangled, and then it tightens. Temptation works the same way in your life. It does not shout. It suggests. It does not force. It invites. It does not demand your destruction. It convinces you that you deserve the indulgence. But listen carefully. The enemy never shows you the full cost up front. He does not show you the broken trust. He does not show you the sleepless nights. He does not show you the distance that grows between you and God. He does not show you the heaviness that replaces joy. You only see the pleasure. You do not see the prison. The soft hands are chains. That is the tragedy. The very thing that feels gentle becomes the very thing that binds you. The comfort becomes captivity. The affection becomes addiction. The momentary escape becomes a long-term enslavement. And this is not only about a seductive woman. This is about any desire that seduces your heart away from God. It may be lust, it may be power, it may be pride, it may be money, it may be attention, it may be validation. Whatever promises to satisfy you apart from God will eventually enslave you. You were not created to be mastered by desire. You were created to be led by the Spirit. Those who are pleasing to God will escape her. Do you hear the hope in that? Escape is possible. You are not destined to fall. You are not doomed to failure. You are not powerless before temptation. If you walk with God, He will make a way of escape. When your heart is anchored in Him, you begin to see clearly. What once looked irresistible begins to look dangerous. What once felt necessary begins to feel empty. What once seemed harmless begins to reveal its hooks. God does not remove your ability to choose. He strengthens your ability to discern. And discernment is a gift. When you seek Him daily, when you fill your mind with His Word, when you humble yourself in prayer, something changes inside you. Your appetite shifts. Your desires begin to align with His. You no longer chase every impulse. You begin to weigh it. You ask, will this draw me closer to God or farther away? Will this strengthen my soul or weaken it? Will this bring life or steal it? The person who is pleasing to God is not perfect. They are not flawless. They are not immune to temptation. But they love God more than they love the thrill of sin. And love changes everything. When you love God deeply, you begin to guard your heart fiercely. You understand that your heart is sacred ground. Not every voice deserves access. Not every touch deserves entrance. Not every opportunity deserves pursuit. There is something holy about your calling. There is something precious about your purpose. There is something eternal about your destiny. And the enemy would love to derail you with something temporary. Sinners will be caught in her snare. This is not written to condemn you. It is written to awaken you. A sinner is not someone who makes a mistake. A sinner is someone who refuses correction. Someone who justifies what God calls destructive. Someone who repeatedly chooses darkness over light. You are not trapped because you are weak. You're trapped because you stopped listening. But even now, if you feel caught, if you feel ashamed, if you feel bound, God is not standing at a distance shaking His head. He's calling you back. His grace is stronger than your failure. The same God who warns you about the snare is the God who breaks chains. Perhaps you have already felt the bitterness. Perhaps what began as excitement turned into regret. Perhaps what started as curiosity became compulsion. Perhaps what felt like love left you empty. You are not alone, and you are not beyond redemption. The bitterness you taste is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to wake you up. Sometimes God allows you to feel the consequence, so you will seek the cure. And the cure is not self-control alone. It is surrender. When you surrender your desires to God, He does not strip you of joy. He purifies it. He teaches you the difference between pleasure that passes and joy that remains. The world says, follow your heart. God says, guard your heart. The world says, if it feels good, do it. God says, if it leads to life, pursue it. The world glamorizes seduction. God exposes its end. And yet, God is not against intimacy. He's not against passion. He created them, but He designed them within covenant, within holiness, within protection. When something sacred is taken outside its design, it becomes destructive. Fire in a fireplace warms a home. Fire outside its boundary burns it down. Desire within God's will blesses you. Desire outside His will binds you. You must understand this. Temptation is not proof that you are far from God. Even Jesus was tempted, but yielding without repentance is what entangles your soul. You have a choice in every moment. You can turn away. You can close the door. You can block the number. You can shut off the screen. You can walk out of the room. You can refuse the conversation. You can redirect your thoughts. You can call on the name of Jesus. You are not helpless. The Spirit of God inside you is stronger than the pull outside you. But strength is built in secret. If you only seek God when temptation strikes, you will feel unprepared. But if you seek Him daily, if you pray before the battle, if you worship before the weakness, if you meditate on His word before the moment comes, then when the snare is laid, you will see it. You will recognize the tone. You will discern the intention. You will sense the danger, and you will step over it. This is not about fear of women. It is about fear of losing your soul. It is about reverence for God. It is about valuing your spiritual life more than fleeting gratification. There is a deeper intimacy waiting for you than anything temptation offers. There is an intimacy with God that satisfies the ache in your heart. When you sit in His presence, when you feel His peace settle over your anxious thoughts, when you experience His forgiveness washing away your shame, no counterfeit affection can compare. The seductive voice says, "Come here, no one will know." God says, "Come to me, and I will restore you." The seductive voice says, "You deserve this." God says, "You deserve freedom." The seductive voice says, "Just once." God says, "Choose life." Every time you choose God, something inside you grows stronger. Every time you resist, you reclaim territory. Every time you say no to sin, you say yes to your future. And if you have fallen, hear this clearly. Repentance is not weakness. It is warfare. When you confess, when you turn back, when you humble yourself, you break the enemy's grip. Chains cannot survive in the presence of honest surrender. The bitterness can become wisdom. The failure can become testimony. The trap can become a lesson that protects you for the rest of your life. God does not waste your pain. He transforms it. Imagine standing before Him one day, having walked through temptation, but not surrendered to it. Imagine the strength in your spirit. Imagine the clarity in your eyes. Imagine the peace in your heart. Holiness is not boring. It is powerful. It is the quiet strength of someone who cannot be bought. It is the steady confidence of someone who cannot be manipulated. It is the deep joy of someone who sleeps without guilt. You were created for that freedom. You were not created to live in hiding. You were not created to juggle secrets. You were not created to be mastered by impulses. You were created to walk upright before your God. So today, examine your heart. What has been whispering to you? What have you been entertaining? What door have you left slightly open? Close it, not in fear, but in faith. Trust that God's boundaries are blessings. Trust that what He forbids would have harmed you. Trust that what He calls you away from would have chained you. And trust that what He calls you toward will fulfill you. Those who are pleasing to God will escape her. Be that person. Seek Him early. Seek Him daily. Seek Him sincerely. When desire rises, pray. When temptation knocks, worship. When weakness whispers, call on Jesus. He is near. He is faithful. He is strong, and his love is not a snare, it is a refuge. His hands are not chains, they are shelter. His passion for you does not enslave, it liberates. Choose him, and you will discover that what once looked like a trap becomes a testimony of deliverance. What once threatened to bind you becomes a reminder of how powerful grace truly is. You're not meant to be caught. You're meant to be free. My child, stop for a moment. Before that thought finishes forming, before it hardens into a belief you carry like a weight around your heart, pause and listen. You have been telling yourself that I am ashamed of you, ashamed of what you did, ashamed of what happened to you, ashamed of how long it is taking you to grow, ashamed of how often you still wrestle with the same weakness. Somewhere along the way, you began to imagine me, watching you, with disappointment in my eyes, turning my face away when you stumble, folding my arms in silence as if my quiet means disapproval. But that is not my heart toward you. I'm not embarrassed by your past. I'm not unsettled by your weakness. I'm not frustrated by your slow progress, or surprised by the parts of you that are still healing. The shame you feel does not come from me. It rises from the way you measure yourself against perfection, against other people, against a version of yourself that does not yet exist. You hold up a flawless standard and condemn your own humanity when you cannot reach it. Yet I have never measured you that way. I measure you by love. When I look at you, I do not see a project that is failing. I see a beloved child who is learning to walk. I see courage in the way you keep trying. I see faith in the way you still whisper prayers after nights of doubt. What you call failure, I often call formation. What you label delay, I call development. The places where you feel weakest are often the very spaces where my strength is quietly taking root. You sometimes believe that I love a future version of you more than I love you right now. You imagine that when you are more disciplined, more consistent, more spiritually mature, then I will finally delight in you. But my love does not wait for your improvement. It rests on you in this moment, while you are still figuring things out, while your prayers feel fragile, while your progress feels painfully slow. I'm not counting the days it takes you to change. I am cherishing every time you turn your heart toward me. Consider this. Nothing about your struggle has caught me off guard. Before you ever faced temptation, before you ever made a mistake that still haunts you, I already knew. I knew the wounds you would carry and the battles you would fight. I knew the nights when regret would sit heavy on your chest and the mornings when you would wake up determined to try again. And knowing all of that, I still chose you. I still called you mine. My love was never built on surprise. It was built on covenant. Shame has a way of convincing you to hide. It tells you to shrink back, to avoid prayer, to withdraw from my presence until you do better. It suggests that you should clean yourself up before you come close. But love does not speak that way. When you fall, I do not step back. When you run, I do not turn away. Even in the moments when you feel most unworthy to lift your eyes, my heart remains steady toward you. The distance you feel is not created by my rejection. It is often created by your fear. You compare yourself more than you realize. You see others who seem stronger in faith, more joyful in worship, more disciplined in devotion. You measure your private struggles against the public victories and conclude that you must be behind. Yet growth is not a race, and transformation is not a competition. The work I am doing in you is deeply personal. It unfolds in layers, in seasons, in ways that cannot always be seen. Roots grow in silence before branches reach the sky. There are changes happening within you that you barely notice. The fact that you feel conviction where you once felt indifference is growth. The fact that you long for freedom where you once settled for chains is growth. The fact that you return to me after you stumble instead of walking away entirely is growth. You may wish for instant transformation, but lasting healing is often gradual. It moves like dawn, slowly pushing back the night until light fills the horizon. When you say, "I should be further by now," you are looking at an imagined finish line. When I look at you, I see how far you've already come. I see prayers that have been answered in ways you did not expect. I see strength that has formed quietly through hardship. I see patterns that have weakened, even if they have not fully disappeared. You are not who you used to be, and that matters more than you think. There are moments when my silence troubles you. You wonder why I am not speaking more loudly, correcting you more sharply, intervening more obviously. But silence does not equal disapproval. Sometimes it means trust. Trust that you are learning to discern my voice. Trust that you're growing in maturity. Trust that your roots are deepening beneath the surface. I am not absent in those quiet seasons. I'm closer than you realize, working in ways that do not always announce themselves. At night, when your mind replays every mistake, I am there. When you feel the ache of regret or the sting of comparison, I am there. When you are too tired to form polished prayers and all you can manage is a sigh, I understand. You do not have to impress me with perfect words. You do not have to approach me with a flawless record. Honesty draws you closer to me far more than performance ever could. Freedom does not begin with perfection. It begins with trust. Trust that my grace is sufficient. Trust that my love is not fragile. Trust that I am committed to the work I started in you. I am not keeping a tally of your failures, waiting for the moment when you disappoint me beyond repair. My mercy is not thin. My patience is not exhausted. My affection is not conditional. The world may evaluate you by achievement, by productivity, by how quickly you overcome your weaknesses, but my kingdom operates differently. I look at your heart. I look at your desire to grow, your willingness to surrender, your persistence in coming back to me. Love is not a performance review. It is a relationship. And in this relationship, you are not a burden. You are a beloved child. Nothing in your past disqualifies you from my presence. No delay cancels my promise. No repeated struggle erases my commitment. Before you fixed anything, before you proved anything, before you even understood what grace was, I loved you. That love has not cooled. It has not shifted with your moods or fluctuated with your discipline. It remains steady, anchored, unwavering. So when the thought begins to rise again, God must be tired of me, let it be interrupted by truth. I'm not tired of you. I'm invested in you. I'm shaping you with care, even when the process feels slow. The story is not finished, and neither are you. Lift your head, not because you have achieved perfection, but because you are held in love. Take another step forward even if it feels small, because you do not walk alone. Pray again, even if your voice trembles, because you are heard. The measure I use for you is not flawlessness. It is love, and love has never turned its face away from you, and it never will.